Okay, Year 9, I'm just going to go over some of the questions that we did on Friday for those who had trouble with them and also for those people who are away. And I'm just going to basically look at question 10, some of the questions from question 10. If you can do them, you can do all the ones that we did. So question 10 says, sketch the graph of each of the following linear relations by finding the gradient and y-intercept formula. So let's have a look at the very first one. And this is 10a. And we've got 5x minus 2y equals 10. And straight away you look at it and you go, well, that looks hard because it's not in the form that we like, the gradient intercept form. Remember, the gradient intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is our gradient, tells us which direction it's going and how steep it's going to be, and b is our y-intercept, which tells us where it cuts the y-axis. So let's rewrite this way in that form, which means I've got to get the y by itself. So I could add the 2y over to the other side, but I'm going to do it the way we did in class, which was, let's get rid of the 5x. Let's get rid of 5x. So minus 5x from both sides. And that will leave me with negative 2y, and that's the tricky bit, equals 10 minus 5x. And now it's still not good on that right-hand side because I've got the constant and I've got the 5x in the wrong order. But there's a neat little trick we can do here. Negative 2y equals 10 plus negative 5x. That's the same thing, isn't it? And then minus 2y equals, it doesn't matter which way we add two things as long as we're adding, which is what we're doing. So I get minus 5x or negative 5x plus 10. And now it's almost written the way that I would like it. Now I just have to divide everything by negative 2, divide both sides by negative 2. And remember, when I divide by negative 2 on this side, I've got to divide by negative 2 both of it. So I'm doing the division to all parts of that side. And that leaves me pretty easy. I get a y over here, which is great. It's in the form that I want. And I get negative 5 on negative 2. Well, that just becomes 5 on 2x. And 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. And now I'm feeling a lot more happier about this because I've now got the two bits of information I need. I have a gradient here of 5 on 2, which is 2.5, which is reasonably steep, and I have a y-intercept of minus 5. So I feel okay about graphing this now. So I go down here to my graph, and I put minus 5 there. And I know it's going to be pretty steep, but I really would like to know where that x-intercept is going to be. If I go back here to this equation, there's a really easy way you can do it. You can just change, now it's in this form, now it's in the form y equals mx plus b. I can change the sign of that and divide by the coefficient of that. Right, so change the sign of that, so that'll get 5. And I'm going to divide by 5 on 2. And I'll get 5, well, we don't divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal, 2 on 5. The 5's cancel, and my x-intercept will be x equals 2. Now, I'm going to go and say, well, the reason why that works when it's in this form is because, remember, the way we find the x-intercept is to let y equals 0. So I get 0 equals 5 on 2x minus 5. So we add the 5. Oh, that's changing the sign. Okay, so we add 5. So we get 5 equals 5 on 2x. And we divide by the 5 on 2. Oh, so we divide by 5 on 2. And you can see very quickly, oh, that's why the rule is there. But it has to be written in the form y equals mx plus b. And we already know that when we divide 5 by 5 on 2, we did it over here, we just get 2. So now I've got the x-intercept and I've got the y-intercept. Smart people can do that very quickly in their head. So 2 is about there. I then grab a straight line. I'll put 2 back in, and make that red, and adjust where the 5 is, because it should be there. And there's my equation of the first one. 5x minus 2y equals 10. Now, the more you do of these, the quicker you will become. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do G and H, because they look reasonably difficult. So I'll just erase these, all this working, and we'll do G and H. Now, please remember, if you get it in the form y equals mx plus b, I'm going to leave that there, then everything becomes very easy. But you must be very good with your algebra in rearranging the equations. And even though some of you might be able to go very quickly, we'll leave that there. So let's have a look at G. What have I got? I've got 4x plus y equals, minus 8 equals 0. Now, this looks a lot easier, so let's minus the 4x straight away. So you get y minus 8 equals negative 4x, and we'll add the 8. So this is pretty easy, this one. I get y equals negative 4x plus 8. So my y-intercept is negative 4. My gradient is negative 4. And my y-intercept is 8. So remember, the negative says it's going down left to right. And the 4 gives me an idea of the steepness, so it'll probably be a lot steeper, something like that. Let's quickly see if we can do that really quick trick by finding the x-intercept. The x-intercept. Now remember, what did he say? What did he say? He said change the sign of that, so negative 8, and divide by that, negative 4. Negative 8 divided by negative 4, 2. So really quickly got the y-intercept and the x-intercept. Let's put them in now. So we'll go down here, and we use a similar scale. We'll make that, got to go up here. Y-intercept is 8, and the x-intercept is negative 2. Is 2, so we'll go there. And we'll grab a line. I knew that would happen. Let's try that again. And we want our line to go through there. And we'll change the point where 8 is. As long as we're reasonably close to scale, we're okay. And there's that equation. So now we're getting really quick at it. So let's do the last one. And the last one is 2x and I'll just get rid of all that. So here is h, and we've got 2x plus 3y minus 6 equals 0. Well, let's minus that 2x first. Minus 2x minus 2x, and I get 3y minus 6 equals negative 2x. We'll add the 6, and I'll get 3y equals negative 2x plus 6, and I'll divide by 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, and that will give me y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2. So I've got my gradient. Here we go. It's going down again. It's negative 2/3. My y-intercept is 2. Let's see if we can quickly get the x-intercept, change the sign of that, so negative 2. And I'm not going to write it as a fraction because I've got a fraction there, but I know that when I divide by negative 2/3, that's multiplying by negative 3 on 2. The 2's will cancel, negatives will make it. That's going to go through x equals 3. So now I've got my x-intercept, my y-intercept, my gradient. Let's put it all together. So my y-intercept is 2. So I'll put that there. My x-intercept is 3, so it's further along. And that makes sense because 2/3, it's not as steep. It's not as steep as the ones we've been doing, and it's negative and it's going down. So I feel pretty happy about that. Let's see if we can get a line without being taken back to the front of the... No, and you knew it would happen. Let's try again. See if we can get it to work this time. And there we go. And we're going to go through there. Well, have I hit it this time? Please say. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. And I should always, I didn't do it for the last one, y, label my axes, and x. And there you go. There are the last three. Graphing equations when they're not in the form y equals mx plus b, if they're in some other form. And good, hopefully you will go back and have a go at, say, F and E and F, and be ready for class next lesson.